Hello again, and welcome to Circle of Love, our connection here for community and creativity. And we meet on the first Saturday of every month. Today, we're working on pampering pages. I'm going to show you what I have on my desk right now for supplies. So let's take a quick look. All right, this is the example that I think you might have seen in the announcement for today's session. I did add a couple of extra little things here. I filled in the star. I kind of worked on a little border. I emphasized some of these spirals. So I did give it a few more touches, but I'll be talking more about how we start from scratch. Let's have a blank page. You can have any kind of paper you want to start off with, really. If you want to think of something thicker that might hold layers better, that'd be great. If not, just anything you have. We're going to start with some random patterned papers. Maybe it was a gift wrap paper, maybe it was stationery paper, maybe it was tissue paper. I actually have here, my husband and I every now and then like to go play bingo on date night. And so I have piles and piles of these pages that every time I finish them, I feel like, oh my gosh, this would be great art material. So this will be my first time finally using these. So any kind of paper type of item that you can find that's got some kind of print or image on it would be great. And obviously we're going to need a glue stick because we're going to be adhering those to our page. I also have some kind of coloring or painting supplies. I've got paints here with me, but you might prefer something as simple as markers. That's okay. Or, you might prefer any other kind of coloring medium. Maybe it's watercolors or painting medium. You choose. We kind of go with what we've got here in this session. And because I'm going to be using paint, I'm going to be having my paintbrush. I'm going to have a little palette for myself and some water. A napkin. Okay. Now here were the bonus supplies, embellishments. Today I have this bag of confetti, and that's what I actually started using on my example here. That's just a pile of confetti. Bag of confetti that I just have laying around that I never end up using for anything. I thought, I'm going to give it a try. And I've got some washi tape. So this one was a fun one for me, but I do have a bunch of other choices. I'm just going to kind of have them sitting off to the side. And so when that time comes, maybe I'll use them. And today I even pulled out my bottles of glitter glue. If you have glitter, if you have anything sparkly that for you feels fun, this is the time to pull it out. Okay. Anything. It could even be aluminum foil out of the kitchen. Right? Okay. First step today for our pampering pages is going to be to just start with a background very simply. Today, I'm not worrying about it, and I'm inviting you to not worry about what it looks like right now. Not right now. We'll get to that later, but right now, just get into it. First step I'm going to do is take one of my pages. I'm just going to tear a piece of it off. And because I really like the rhythm of these numbers and the pattern and the visual effect of the order of these, I'm going to leave a lot of them on here. So I'm going to start by tearing a big piece, turning it over, putting tons and tons of glue on the back. Some people say, glue stick isn't the best art glue because it kind of can wrinkle the pages a little bit, but you know what, when we're working, especially on pampering pages, we're not going to worry about those things. Sometimes that inhibits our creativity, and it's more important to instead just grab what's easiest. Now, it might be easier for you to use a different type of glue. For me, it's easiest to use glue sticks, so I'm just grabbing that. All right, and because we're gonna have so many layers, see, these wrinkles are really not gonna matter all that much on this project. What we're doing is we're layering papers like this in an effort to cover the blank background paper that you started off with. So you can tear whatever shapes you want, you can keep big chunks. It doesn't really matter, it's your choice, but keep on working until you have, there we go, most of that background, plain background covered up. Okay. Now, some of you have already kind of gotten a sense of what type of page this is going to be. What's the theme? What's the purpose of this page today? Or what you are invited to reflect on today is being kinder to yourself. You know, there are so many ways that I feel like I know I really put myself through a lot. Things that that didn't have to be that way, that I end up doing to myself. You know, sometimes I do things for myself, and that's good. But sometimes I do things to myself, and even something as simple as, you know, second guessing myself, and or feeling like, you know, I have to be perfect, or setting those high standards, you know, and being disappointed with myself if I don't meet them. Instead, really trying hard today to turn that story around and help it be something that works for you, works really to empower you today. And so in my mind, that might be something like speaking more kindly to myself and giving myself more grace, that, you know, when I feel I didn't quite reach the goal that I thought that I set out to reach, being graceful with myself in that, you know, I tried, and I did in fact work hard. I did in fact give it my best effort. And, you know, sometimes just giving it my best is all I can do. So be remembering that, you know, and again, giving yourself credit for what you have accomplished. Whatever the case is, and whatever pampering means to you, I'm inviting you to think about that. And but really right now, just play, because another thing about pampering ourselves or being kinder to ourselves is giving ourselves the chance to play. Sometimes where there don't have to be rules, where you don't have to have consequences, where there just doesn't have to be anything that matters, that you just play and just put it on there. And if it doesn't match, let it be. Yes, just for now. Some people say, well, okay, let's look at the balance of the page, you know, and you can easily incorporate some additional artistic techniques and strategies, you know, without a lot of extra effort. So I might mention some of those things. And if you're interested in using some of those ideas, great. And if those just too much and you're not interested, don't worry about it. But if you want to add a little balance in an easy way to your page, and balance is when, you know, your eye kind of looks at your page and it feels in harmony. It feels like everything is working. So our brains are designed to want to see, in a way, symmetry and or balance. And here we can use color to represent that balance. So if I have a bunch of green here on this kind of corner of my page, I might find a way across the page somewhere to just add a touch of green to kind of balance that page out visually. And same if I have all of these numbers on this one side, I might try to find somewhere across the page where I just add a touch of that number. And maybe not. And maybe you try it and you feel like, nope, it's not working for me. Then don't do it. All right, so I'm still adding my layers. There we go. I think I'll add a touch of balance. I haven't decided yet if I want to balance out the numbers or not. I think what I'll do, and this is what I often do, is I'll take a little piece of it like this, and I'll place it there without glue and just feel it out. And sometimes still I'm not sure, so I'll just let it hang out there without glue for now. Okay. Or maybe I'll move it around to a different spot. See what happens. All right, but after you have your background completely covered, and I say background, remember that's the blank page that we started off with in the beginning. I'm going to invite you to take your coloring or your drawing supplies that you brought with you. And today I literally grabbed completely random little containers of paint, little tubes of paint. I just didn't even look at the colors. I just grabbed them and put them on my desk. And now is a good time to start adding lines, adding images, adding words, adding designs, adding patterns, if you will, on your page. And there's one way that you can actually do some very fast editing in the very beginning. I'm going to show you that first. I'm going to choose a color that's not too dark, just because we want to have the opportunity, if we feel like it later, to be able to to add words or to go over with another layer of design and let that design show up. We don't want it to get too dark and muddy. Okay, I just grabbed this. What does this end up being? Milky white, it says. And you're going to take that color, if it's a marker, or whatever the case is, whatever medium you're choosing to use right now, take that color and allow yourself to just simply cover up certain areas like this, okay? If you feel like it. Besides adding line right now and different areas of your page and design and drawing and things like that, also think about, are there areas that what happens if you cover them up completely like this, okay? And make them partially start to go away. And what that does is that just breaks up visually the edges of all these different papers that we put on here. It breaks up the edges. It kind of helps them to blend together better. And if that's something that feels good to you right now it just feels good to me to just put the paint down on the paper and not have to worry about right now what it looks like. There we go. This is the play part. We do have to practice non-judgment during this part here, during this step. And turn off that critic. Turn off that judge. Just play. Just do it. Okay. I'm going to continue, I think, adding a little more cover up patches of paint on my page for now. And this, in a sense, really is still part of the background of this creation today. And by background, what I mean is if you look at this practice page I did, you'll see the star is kind of like the main form or the main feature of the page. Of course, there are these little banner things and there are these spirals that stand out. But around the star, you'll see these pieces of washi tape and confetti, and then the paper, the original papers that I layered back there, those are all, these things here are part of the background. So they're just kind of the filler space or the filler area, okay? And that's what we're still working on right now, is this background. As you're working, I encourage you to start thinking about when you are doing something kind or nice for yourself, what either does that feel like? What is involved possibly, if you already have an idea? If you were needing to encourage someone else, what kinds of words do you use for them? What kinds of things do you tell them? What are ways that you are nice to others and kind to others? What would that look like if you tried some of those things to yourself, for yourself? And, you know, what came to my mind as I was thinking about this and reflecting on this idea, and I was working on this page, is I really just wanted, I'm in the middle of a few activities in my life right now, preparing some things that make me feel like I just hope they turn out well. I hope that others enjoy them. I hope they turn out well. And that will make me feel, if that is successful, then it will make me feel, let's see, it'll make me feel like a star. It'll make me feel like, you know, I've done a good job. It'll make me feel like a star. And that's what image came to my mind. So I use the star as a symbol here on this page to represent me and that feeling. These spirals are, in a sense, a crowd, kind of almost in a sense clapping. The confetti is kind of like a celebration moment. Okay, for me, that's the feeling that I was evoking during that reflection of what does being kind look like and feel like to myself right now. And sometimes it's different. Every day could be different. Okay, but right now in this moment, what does that look like to you? And so, so this is a good time after you've finished adding some patches of paint or patches of color, whatever the case is, to maybe cover up some of these areas on the background. it's a good time to start thinking about what might that symbol be for you? Is there an image that comes to your mind? Or maybe is there just color? Do you want to just grab a different color and just go to it and maybe start letting your brush flow freely on your page? What if, there's just not something that's coming to mind? I'm going to try that. Because right now, since I used up already my symbol of a star on this page, I'm kind of stuck for ideas. So what I'm going to do, take another one of these colors that I pulled out, and I'm going to use that directly on my page and just let my brush wander. I'm just truly just letting it wander. Notice I've chosen a color that does stand out so that I can see my lines very easily. And I have no idea what direction this is going right now. But I am allowing my hand and my brush to go in the direction that they feel, and without judgment. So without thinking, oh, I don't know, this is not looking like something that I would be, planning to create. Nope, just letting it be. Taking this moment to also apply some mindfulness here. I stopped for a second my talking so that I could hear the sound of the tip of my brush even moving on the paper. So I'm going to invite you to do that. Take it down even to a more minimal level and listen to that sound. All right. What I have here is kind of what I feel like an outline. That's what I'm thinking this is, some type of outline. What I'm going to be working on next is called embellishment. Inside of these different areas, and whether you have an outline or not on your paper, inside of these different areas, so if I was working still on this one, I didn't really have an outline, so I just had this big wide page open. I just went right there, almost smack dab in the middle, slightly to the left, and I just started drawing out that, or painting out that shape of that star. That's what I originally did. And that's what came to me. And after that star, what kind of started coming to me are these spirals. And then from there, what started coming to me are these rays, kind of beams of light coming out of the star. And that's where you really start to then begin telling the story. So telling the story on your page of what does your pampering look like? And some people, here's where some people might even include something like a pedicure, or other things that you're thinking, maybe there's a big painting of a foot, whoever. You can take this in whatever direction you want. You can be as fun, as playful, as silly, as goofy with it as you want. You can be as, reverent, as not serious, but as, let's see, precious in a sense with it, if you like. If that's something that you're feeling, go for it. Absolutely. So think about that. And this is the time where now you really just get to play. You can continue if you feel like you need to with your colors. I feel like I might need to add a little bit more color here somehow. I'm not sure what, maybe I'll change colors and I'll incorporate a new one. And this is also a good time to start thinking about any embellishment items that you brought with you. So for example, I brought these numbers, these bingo numbers, and it looks like I do want to add just a little bit more right there, I decided. And notice that I have some now upside down because I've turned my paper and I'm just letting them be that way. So I'm not forcing my brain to have to go with the story that, oh, numbers, they need to be shown upright so that they can be read. Now I'm leaving that logic out, and I'm just taking another piece and I'm putting it here because I realize I want this whole entire section filled. For some reason, that's just the feeling I'm having. I don't have a story yet. That's just the feeling that I'm having. Okay. So there you go. Allow yourself to follow your feeling and keep going and keep adding and adding and adding and adding. And you know when you are finished with your page, because it really helps you feel celebrated. It helps you feel appreciated. It helps you feel like you just went to the spa. It helps you feel rejuvenated. It helps you feel, whatever that is, that thing that you feel you're needing. Maybe you just need validation. Maybe you just need, attention. Maybe you just need whatever it is, that feeling that you are giving yourself that right now. Even if it means you are giving yourself permission to be needing that thing right now, whatever it is. Okay. All right, my wonderful ones, I'm going to keep going. This is the time where I'm going to stop the recording, and if you're watching from somewhere, some other time, thank you for joining us, at least on your own time. And I'm going to invite you to keep going, but I will turn my recording off to turn the attention to participants that are here live and get a chance to hear from them and maybe see some of their work. And so if you are joining us not live, then if you do finish this project, feel free to send me or email me a photo of your creation. Oh, I would just love that. I would just love that. I love showing kind of, how everyone interprets each different little challenge. So well done, keep going, and hope to see you next time.